Hello students, I welcome you all to Azad ICS Academy's Current Affairs series. Today, that is 1st December 2024, we have decided to start with a new series of current affairs. In this, we will not be including all the articles of the newspaper. We will be including only few of the articles. The reason being, most of the articles keep repeating and we do not want to waste the precious time of the students. The articles that we will be discussing would be of significance for your examination. The probability is that maybe some of the questions have appeared in the past, and we would expect some questions in the future exams as well. That is why we'll be choosing one or two important topics, giving you all the aspects of that particular topic. Today, that is 1st December 2024, we have chosen two important topics. One is regarding the sickle cell disease or sickle cell anemia. Another important thing that we're going to discuss is about the northeastern states of India, right? So we'll see what are the two important articles that we have chosen. Let us dive deep into these topics and understand why these topics are important. So the first important article that we're going to see here is that is Cuttack Hospital likely to be one-stop center for sickle cell anemia treatment. See, I will be explaining you what is the meaning of sickle cell anemia treatment. Before we go into details of that, let us see what is mentioned in the article. And there must be a question that why only Cuttack? Okay, why only this hospital is going to be a one-stop center and why not the hospitals present in other parts of the country, right? Now let us see a team from United Nations Children Fund, that is UNICEF, that is UNICEF. Now I have given you some information regarding the UNICEF here, right? So this is basically a United Nation devoted to aid national efforts to improve health, nutrition, education, and general welfare of the children. This was basically established after the World War II to administer those children who are affected because of this particular World War, and then it becomes a permanent body. Right now, we call it as United Nations Children Fund, but we still refer to it as UNICEF. Now, this is nothing but they are going to come to this particular place that is Cuttack and they're going to visit this particular hematology department of SCB Medical College, Cuttack, to assess its potential for development as a one-stop treatment for sickle cell anemia. Now, we have to understand that why only this particular hospital? The question is answered in the same article itself. The reason is because Odisha leads the country in prevalence of sickle cell disease. The reason is because the number of people suffering from sickle cell anemia are high in Odisha. That is the reason this particular hospital in Cuttack is likely to be a one-stop center. You can also see, I do not want you to remember this data, right? Or this data here, which is 89,329 individuals who are diagnosed out of so many people. This data would keep changing. But please try to understand here the disease rate here is 1.88. This much amount of disease or this much percentage of the people who are suffering from this disease is present in this state alone, okay, which is greater than the national average, that is 0.38%. The state also tops with the list of numbers of carriers. You know, the number of people who carry this particular sickle cell anemia is also high in this particular, state. That is the reason this particular hospital is being present in this Cuttack. Apart from this, what they're also trying to tell us here is we have a separate, uh, mission that is there to eliminate this particular sickle cell anemia, which was introduced in the Lok Sabha. You can see here in the Lok Sabha, National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission was launched in 2023, and it had total number of these many people were included. Now, we also need to understand that by 2047, we have a plan to eliminate sickle cell anemia completely from India, which was introduced in 2023. Now, what are the things that are going to be provided in this particular medical hospital? So we have to understand about the skill training that will be provided. So you have to understand that a one-stop center for sickle cell treatment will establish at SCB Medical College Hospital, offering comprehensive care under one roof. See, it is very important that all the medical facilities have to be present in one roof itself. You cannot ask the patients to, go for the blood test separately and go for the different scanning or treatment separately. So this particular initiative here is trying to make sure that all the facilities that are required for the treatment are present under one roof. The center will be equipped with this essential medical equipments, and staff will undergo special training and enhance their skills. It will provide a range of services, diagnostic testing, ICU facilities, all these things will be provided so that the patients can easily get the treatment. Now, we also have to understand that the UNICEF team and the team of National Health Mission jointly visited SCB Medical College Hospital and inspected the infrastructure of hematology department, laboratory, daycare center, ward, bone marrow transplantation center, gynecology department. Now we will discuss about bone marrow transplantation because your sickle cell anemia is related to blood. Okay, we'll discuss about that a little after some time. Okay, the hematology department of SBC College, which has been declared as a center of competence in conducting treatment, study, and research on blood disease. So you have to also understand that this particular college is doing a lot of research on hematology. Hematology is nothing but that particular study which is related to blood or the diseases that are related to blood, right? Now we have to understand that our blood basically consists of some important parts. Like we have RBCs, we have WBCs, we have platelets, and it consists of plasma. Okay, the plasma is the liquid that is there in the blood. Now we have to understand the RBCs. This is a cell which gives a red color to the cell, and you have to understand the shape of this particular RBC. This RBC is actually lens shaped or round and shaped, but in sickle cell anemia, what happens here is the shape of the RBC would be like this, like a sickle. You know what is a sickle, right? It is used in agriculture and all. So it is like a sickle or a crescent shape, you can say. So this basically is going to hinder the flow of the blood. I'll show you how it is going to hinder the flow of the blood. So for example, if this is your blood vessel, right, your RBC will be traveling in this way, right? If they are round in shape or if they are lens in shape, it's not going to affect the flow of the blood. If the vessels are like this, and these crescent shape would, get stuck here, and as and when they reach a particular organ, that they will create a lot of pain in those organs. So this is a basic issue of sickle cell anemia or sickle cell disease. Now we'll understand more in detail about this. So let us understand what is this particular sickle cell disorder. I want you to look at this particular diagram. You can see these are normal white blood cells which are in lens shaped or round in shape, right? But you can see the cells which are sickle celled. You can see they are not round and they are sickle shaped. So you can see it is nothing but a inherited blood disorder. It could be caused by genetic mutation leading to abnormal shape of red blood cells into sickle cell or crescent shape. How is it going to impact? So you need to understand that they will disrupt the effective circulation. As I already mentioned you, that they will not be able to easily move. The blood will not be able to easily move because these red blood cells, which are sickle in shape, they would disrupt the effective circulation, causing various complications. Now, what are the different complications they would cause? You need to understand that there'll be organ damage, severe pain episodes. There'll be different pain that will be, present in different parts of your body. We'll discuss which part of the body you will suffer pain from. Reduced lifespan of, of a particular person, and these are some of the significant consequences. Now, who are the people who are mostly affected by these, disease? Vulnerable groups are basically the tribal population, and you need to understand most amount of the tribal population is also present in Odisha. That is the reason the amount of individuals suffering from sickle cell is also very high. Okay, as per, and I am not telling this, this is being told by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The next important thing that we have to understand is what are the symptoms. As I already told you, you will start feeling fatigue, weakness, and there will be painless. And I already told you about the pain. Where do you find this pain? The pain is basically sudden and severe in the bones, chest, back, arms, and legs. Now, apart from this, you will also see the growth will be very slow. There will be delayed puberty in children and adolescents. Okay. These are some of the important symptoms of sickle cell diseases. Now, apart from this, we'll understand the treatment approaches. What are the different ways that these particular diseases being treated? See, why are we discussing about this? In the previous year's question paper, you can see a lot of questions have been come from TB, tuberculosis, because a lot of people die in India because of tuberculosis. Similarly, sickle cell disease is also playing an important role. Probably the question would come from here. And as we have also seen in 2023, we have come up with a mission also to eliminate sickle cell anemia, and we have a target of 2047. So that is the reason this particular article becomes important. Now we'll also see some of the treatment approaches. What are the important treatment approaches? So yes, I already told you that it is related to blood, right? In the blood, the red blood cells which were supposed to be round are crescent in shape. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to remove all the infected blood, or you can say all the blood that consists of sickle cell anemia or sickle cell RBCs. We'll remove that blood and we'll try to put the new blood. That is, lowering the risk of pain crisis. We are going to do blood transfusions. Apart from this, we will be providing some kind of medications like hydroxyurea. Now, why I have put this is because UPSC is now trendingly asking about the chemicals. It is asking about the medicines as well. So, hydroxyurea is a kind of a medication that can be given, which will reduce the pain episodes and can also prevent long-term complications. Now, these are certain medications and blood transfusions that can be done, but permanently you can also do something with respect to genetic modifications. Like, for example, we can also do bone marrow transplantation, or you can do stem cell transplantation using techniques like CRISPR. Now, this is nothing but for the genetic correction. We will be studying about this particular technique more in detail when we will be discussing science and technology, and under that, particularly biotechnology. In gene therapy, what we'll be trying to do here is wherever there is a defect in the gene, we will try to correct it through different gene therapies. One of the gene therapy is this. That is, it is called as clustered regularly interspaced short palindrome repeats. Now, what we are going to do here is these are present in human beings, and what we will do here is the scientists will be able to modify the DNA of this particular living organism. We will take this particular DNA, we will modify it, and then we'll again replace it back. Now, we have to understand that this particular thing is not so well developed in India. Okay, it is present in other countries like United States of America and all. They have this particular therapy, and it is very costly as well, because it is not easy. The scientists have to take the DNA from you and then they have to do the corrections and then put it back. But anyways, other things can be done like bone marrow transplantation and stem cell transplantations can be anyways done. So these are some of the treatment approaches. Now we'll see what is the status in India. Okay, in India we need to understand that out of this is a regional study that they have done. Every 15 to 25 babies are born annually in India with this particular sickle cell disease. Vulnerable communities are, especially tribal communities, okay? And those communities which are not having proper healthcare accesses. Okay, socio-economical and geographical challenges further exacerbate the lack of awareness and effective treatment for in these regions. Now, especially why these people are suffering, why tribal communities? Because most of the people are not even aware that there is a sickle cell disease, and they are suffering from it. So that is the reason why they are suffering from these particular disease. Apart from that, we also need to understand that India ranks third all over the world. Okay, after Nigeria and Democratic Republic of Congo. These are the other places you can see. Both of them are, related to Africa, or the countries are in Africa. Here also you see that a lot of tribal people are present. Awareness lacks here. And please understand that Africa and countries related to Africa is UPSC's favorite topic. Every year, one or the other question keeps coming from Africa. Maybe it could be related to resources, maybe it could be related to some of the important countries that are there in news. Again, here you need to understand that most of the sickle cell anemia diseases in the world is present in Nigeria and in Democratic Republic of Congo, right? Apart from this, we'll also understand some of the challenges that are related to the treatment. As I already told you that it is very costly. The gene therapy that I have talked about is a little costly. Apart from this, we have to understand that it is very limitedly aware about many parts of the country or many people are not even aware about this particular sickle cell disease. Understanding that many people, especially in the rural area or the tribal regions, are unaware of this particular disease, its symptoms, its impact, and they also lack knowledge about, diagnosis. And maybe the symptoms are also misunderstood or ignored. Maybe because you have a muscle pain or you have a back pain, you will say that, okay, it is just a pain because I have done some work or something like that. And it is very common. So a lot of people are kind of ignoring these symptoms because most of the symptoms would be pain, right? The pain that you're getting on the legs, on the back, etc. And this pain would be just ignored, right? Inadequate treatment, as I already told you, that as there is a lack of awareness itself, so the treatment would also may not be that efficient enough. Now, apart from this, there is a misconception. What is a misconception? That these are genetic disorders and can discourage individuals from seeking timely medical intervention. That is nothing but if somebody gets to know that it's a genetic disorder, people will not be able to, get connected to you easily. That is the reason many people would not even come forward to take any kind of medications. Okay. Inadequate health infrastructure. As I already mentioned you that right now we are trying to have one hospital, which is going to be a one-stop solution. But right now we have to understand that there are very less infrastructure or inadequate infrastructure. Like we do not have a proper hospitals or clinics that are equipped to diagnose, the issues that are there in the hemoglobin or the issues that are there in the blood. Apart from this, as I already told you, that gene therapy and stem cell transplantation, the infrastructure may not be there in India, right? Trained personnel's supply chain, even if they are there, it is not that well developed. Okay, the infrastructure is not that well developed. Anyways, we are trying to come up with this particular thing right now with this particular hospital in Cuttack. Supply chain issues are also there, like medications like hydroxyurea and safe blood transfusions services are not consistently available in remote areas. See, I'm not talking about just India, I'm talking about a specific place. If you go to any tribal area, you may not even find a hospital there. So it is very difficult for them to diagnose it and even give medications or even do basic blood transfusion also. So this is lacking in your remote areas. Now, what are certain things that we can do, right? What are the possible interventions? That is, we can do some kind of awareness. See, all the group of doctors can do some kind of medical camp in these tribal areas, make them aware of these sickle cell anemia, make them also aware that this genetical disorder can be treated, right? So this is certain things that they can do. Apart from this, they also have to focus on tribal and rural communities. See, in a city like Bangalore or tier cities like Mumbai or any cosmopolitan or metropolitan cities, it is very common that people would do a lot of blood tests. Any corporate organization would allow people to do a lot of blood tests, as a corporate what you mean to say responsibility of their employment or employees or something. What they do is they do a lot of regular blood tests, and over a period of time, if you are facing any issues, it will come into light. But the same thing does not happen in tribal and rural areas. The focus that we are trying to do to eliminate this particular sickle cell anemia should completely focus on tribal and rural communities. We should try to have a high good or high-end infrastructure which will have a specialized healthcare centers, and there should be training that should be done so that the diagnostic is done properly, the diagnosis is done properly, and the management is also done properly. We also have to find some kind of policies, such kind of relief that needs to be done, like funding that needs to be done for the research and the healthcare. We also need to make sure that the supply chain is done properly so that the medicines and the blood transfusion services are also done in a proper manner. So this is all about the sickle cell anemia. This is all about the article that we have seen. I do not want you to remember all the data that was given, but yes, please do remember about 1.88% of the, patients that are present in this particular state itself, which is greater than the high national average, right? Which is 0.38%, right? This is something about sickle cell anemia. Now let us go into the next important article that is related to the Ashtam Lakshmi Mahotsav. So PM to inaugurate festival to celebrate culture economy of 8 northeastern states. So here we need to understand that there is a festival that is there, Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav, and that is going to be inaugurated. We'll understand about the article first, and then we'll understand the importance of northeastern states. Now again, northeastern states, questions keep on coming repeatedly. I will tell you one of the topic that is going to play an important role. last 2 consecutive years, there is one question on this particular topic, right? That is Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji will inaugurate Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav 2024, a 3-day festival beginning December 6th at Bharat Mantapa in New Delhi to showcase the culture, social, and economic fabrication of 8 northeastern states, right? So you need to understand that what is this Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav? Why only Ashtalakshmi? Because there are 8 northeastern states. Ashtalakshmi is 8 different forms of Lakshmi. So that is why this is somewhere correlating to these states. Okay. Now, Union Development Minister has said that the festival would provide unprecedented platform for regionals vibrant. You need to understand this. It is trying to promote textile industry, artisan, crafts, and geographical indication products. Now, what is this particular geographical indication products or what is this GI tag? I want you to understand that there are certain products that are only specifically present in a particular place. For example, we call it as kesar or saffron is only present in Kashmir or it is only grown there. You try to grow it somewhere else, maybe you may not be able to do it. So it is particularly present there itself. Now the tea that is present in Assam is at the best quality, right? So we call it Assam tea, right? Kashmiri kesar. So there is a particular name that is given and that is called as GI tag. And the products are called GI products. So GI tag is nothing but it is a name or a sign that is being given to a specifically geographical area. It is originating in that particular geographical location or origin. That is why that GI tag is given. Now it is ensuring that only authorized users you will be using this, and the popular product name also will be only used by those particular geographical location people. It will also protect the product from being copied or imitated by others, right? And here it will be valid for 10 years. And who is taking care of this? It is being taken care by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Now we also have to understand the department here. Department is Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade as well. So sometimes the UPSC keeps asking you what is the ministry, what is the department as well. So apart from this, we will understand about Ashta Lakshmi states. Which are the Ashta Lakshmi states? They are Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram, Tripura, and Sikkim. They are referred to as Ashta Lakshmi or 8 forms of prosperity. They contribute significantly to India's culture, social, economic fabric. The event will foster long-term business relation between the Northeast artisans to buy and the export and import will also be promoted through this particular festival here. Apart from this, maybe they will get a lot of bulk orders and there will be also on spot sales. The reason why this particular festival is happening is because the artists that are present in these particular states can exhibit their whatever artifacts that they have or handicrafts that they have, and on spot also many things can be sold out, and also they may get a large number of consignment through this particular festival. At a certain razor event of this Mahotsav, what our minister is trying to highlight is that northeast of India further develop, aligning to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision. It is vision that engage for the growth of India should be northeastern region. The 8 avatars of Lakshmi. So he's also telling about what are the 8 avatars of Lakshmi. Here you can see about prosperity, purity, wealth, knowledge, duty, agriculture, and animal husbandry. Okay. Now we have to understand that why this is inaugurated, what are the importance of northeastern states. Here they're trying to promote export, import, and they're also trying to promote trade. Now we will see the significance of this particular part of India, that is northeastern India. Why so much of importance is given and what are the other important significance that are present. I also mentioned that there is some important topic here that UPSC keeps asking about. Here, I want you to focus on the 6th schedule of Indian Constitution. Last year and last to last year, in both the years, you have one question from 6th schedule, right? Now, why 6th schedule is important is because it helps in governing or administering these tribal areas. Okay. So apart from this, also you need to understand that here, what are the 8 states we have already discussed? And why it is important is because they have a unique culture, linguistic, and ethnic biodiversity or diversity. Not biodiversity, diversity. I'm so sorry, it is Here we are going to discuss about a northeastern India, okay, the region of diversity and strategic importance. What you need to understand here is that these states that are mentioned here, they have a proper unique culture, linguistic and ethnic diversity. Here, apart from this, they are mentioned in the sixth schedule of the constitution. As I already mentioned you about how important this topic is, that 2 consecutive years this question is coming up in prelims. That is about sixth schedule of Indian Constitution. So it is basically going to govern or administer the tribal areas in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. What are the key features of this particular sixth schedule? I'm not going into detail because this will be detailedly discussed in political lectures, but you need to understand what to study from this particular article. The sixth schedule becomes important here because again, northeastern states are in news, right? Establishment of autonomous district council. So they're going to make a autonomous district council, and this will give a tribal community autonomy in managing their resources and governance under the sixth schedule. And the powers that are granted for these autonomous district councils will include legislative, that is lawmaking power. They will also have a judicial authority, and they will also control natural resources. Apart from this, we need to understand other significance. We have geographical importance. How is it geographically important? See, it is acting as a gateway to Southeast Asia and beyond. So other parts of the world can be connected with the help of this particular northeastern India. Now, the Siliguri corridor, you can see this part here, or it is also called as Chicken's Neck. Okay, Chicken's Neck because it's a very strategic important place because it is connecting your northeastern states to the mainland India, right? You can see it is connecting the mainland India to the northeastern states. It is having an immense strategic importance because this region is important for trade, commerce, tourism for West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam, Nepal, Bhutan, and other countries like Bangladesh. The neighboring countries are also, sharing border with this particular northeastern state. So it becomes very important for trade as well as security. And we also have some cultural significance. You can see it is a home for 200 tribes, unique language, tradition, and customs. Apart from this, there are some important festivals like Hornbill Festival that happens in Nagaland, right? Here also it is again allowing the artists to come and show their artisans or handicrafts that are present or done by Nagaland people. Similarly, there is another important festival that happens in Sikkim, right? That is called Pang Labos Lap Sol, right? These important festivals happen in this particular place or in northeastern states are again of significance. And apart from this, you can see the social harmony that is also there. There is a dance form which is called Bihu, which is there in Assam, right? So these are some of the importance that are there. Apart from this, we also have economical and ecological importance. In economical importance, we need to understand tea. When it comes to Assam, Assam is famous for tea. Apart from that, we also have oil and timber industries that are prominent here. And we also have a potential to generate around 50,000 megawatts of hydroelectric power as well. It is having high amount of fossil fuels, minerals, and very important is biodiversity, Indo-Burma biodiversity hotspot. When we are discussing environment ecology, we'll discuss about biodiversity hotspot. Biodiversity hotspot is such a place where it consists of high amount of endemism or high amount of endemic flora and fauna present. And we have 4 important biodiversity hotspots. We'll discuss about that in detail when we are discussing about environment ecology, right? Apart from that, it also hosts a lot of bears that are found in India, right? So this is about importance. Now we have some kind of issues also. There are some current challenges that are there. What you need to understand here is it is isolated from the mainland India, like accessibility. That is, we have to understand that there is a weak transportation. The transportation is not that better. Okay. So sometimes if why the transportation is weak is because of the geography. The geography is also not that well. It is having a lot of rugged terrain, or you can say the terrain or the geography is not that better, so that the transportation is not that good. There are also frequent floods, landslides that happen here. Okay, that is also causing a lot of strain on economy, and the connectivity the neighbor is also not that good. Okay, so the development here is not better. The development needs to be done better so that we have a better connection with the neighboring countries as well. You need to understand about the lack of efficient infrastructure. So as I already told you about the poor roadways, okay, and increase road congestion. The congestion in the road is also not that it is frequent enough. So there is a failure, and this is a kind of a pressing issue, you can see. Social infrastructure also, shortage of education, institution, and healthcare facilities are also, some of the important things that are lacking here. Apart from this, we also have to understand the territorial conflicts. There are a lot of territorial conflicts that is there, interstate disputes are also there. There are ongoing, border dispute between Assam and Mizoram. There is border dispute. This is interstate. You can see also some other countries also issues, like you can see China influencing. China's interest in this region is making Siliguri corridor very vulnerable. The reason is if China is trying to get a hold of it, it will cut down the major important connection that India has. Okay, if China is trying to come through this particular Siliguri corridor, if it is successful, which is likely not to happen, but if this happens, then the entire Northeast will be cut down from India, right? So this is something that we would not expect to happen or likely to happen. Now, insurgents and political issues are also there. Regional movements and insurgent activities like Naxalism, exploitation. All these things are, anyways, some of the current challenges that northeastern states are facing. Apart from this, what are the important things that we can do? What are the way forward? The first important thing that we need to understand is about the infrastructure development. We can strengthen power, water infrastructure, proper transportation links, etc. Some of the inclusive developments can also be done, like local industries, education, healthcare, improvements. Conflict resolution, as I already told you, that there is a border dispute, we need to peacefully resolve, and we need to make sure that we have a proper cooperation with neighboring countries so that we are not having any external threats as well. And we need to also address the we need to address the insurgency and make sure that there is a political stability with proper dialogue and proper governance as well. And make sure that the national integrity is there. Encourage culture exchange programs with these things. So that is the reason that we have this particular festival that has been celebrated. So that's all for today. And I hope you like the lecture. I would like you to do some extra reading on biodiversity hotspot. You would also read more about the sixth schedule and what are the other provisions that we have in the sixth schedule. Because, first, what would happen here is initially UPSC will ask you maybe one line question or one option question, and later it will come up with lines. You need to understand that if this thing is coming up again and again, tribes is something that UPSC keeps asking about. So sixth schedule would remain important this year as well. So try to read a little more in depth about sixth schedule because it is going to play a very significant role in your prelims. Thank you so much for today, and that's all.